You wake up on the morning of something important, a job interview, a first date, a presentation in front of people who matter, and your stomach drops. Not metaphorically, literally. Your gut twists, your throat tightens, your head starts to pound, and you think, why now? Why today? But here's the thing, your body is not betraying you. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. And understanding why changes everything about how you see yourself. Your immune system and your nervous system are not separate. They never were. For most of human history, scientists treated them like two unrelated departments in the same building, passing memos they never read. Then, in the 1970s, a psychologist named Robert Ader changed that. He was studying rats. He conditioned them to feel nausea when they drank sweetened water. Standard behavioral experiment. But something unexpected happened. The rats started dying. Their immune systems were shutting down, not from a drug, not from a disease, from the memory of nausea alone. Ader had accidentally discovered that the brain could directly suppress immune function. The field that followed became known as psychoneuroimmunology, which sounds impossibly complicated, but means something simple. Your mind and your immune system speak the same language. That language is stress. When your brain perceives a threat, real or imagined, it fires a hormonal signal through the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. That is a long phrase for a chain reaction. The brain sends a message, the body responds. Cortisol floods the bloodstream. And cortisol, in short bursts, is brilliant. It sharpens your focus. It raises your pain threshold. It pushes blood toward your muscles so you can run or fight. Your ancient ancestors needed exactly this. The threat was a predator. The cortisol helped them survive. The threat passed. The cortisol dropped. The body returned to baseline. But your body cannot tell the difference between a predator and a performance review. When the stress is chronic, when the cortisol stays elevated for days or weeks or months, something strange happens. The immune system does not shut down uniformly. It shifts. Research by Sheldon Cohen at Carnegie Mellon University found that people under prolonged psychological stress were nearly 3 times more likely to develop a cold when directly exposed to the rhinovirus. Not because stress weakened them randomly, but because stress changed how their immune cells responded to inflammation. The system became dysregulated. Not broken, dysregulated. There is a difference. Here is what that looks like inside your body. Under short stress, cytokines, which are the chemical signals your immune cells use to communicate, flood the area around a wound or infection to fight it. Useful, precise. But under chronic stress, the cells that normally respond to cortisol as a stop signal stop listening. They become resistant, so the inflammation keeps going. Your immune system keeps firing long after it should stand down. And that persistent, low-level inflammation is what produces the physical symptoms you feel when you are under pressure. The scratchy throat before the presentation, the stomach upset before the difficult conversation, the headache that appears every Sunday night. Your body is not faking it. It is inflamed. Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA made a discovery that deepens this further. She found that the brain processes social pain, rejection, exclusion, public humiliation in the same neural circuits that process physical pain, the same regions, the same pathways. Which means when you dread standing up in front of a crowd, when you fear being judged, your brain treats that threat with the same biological machinery it would use if you were about to be attacked. The inflammation response triggers. The sickness behavior begins. Sickness behavior. That is actually what researchers call it. The fatigue, the withdrawal, the loss of appetite, the heightened sensitivity to pain. These are not side effects of illness. They are an evolved strategy. When your ancient ancestors were genuinely sick with infection, retreating, resting, and stopping normal activity was the fastest path to survival. The brain learned to produce those behavioral outputs whenever the immune system signaled danger. The problem is, the brain also produces them when the social environment signals danger. Because for a social animal, being excluded from the group was as deadly as a wound. Being shamed publicly could end your access to resources, to mates, to protection. Social threat activated the same alarm system as physical threat, and it still does. So when you feel sick before something frightening, you are not weak. You are ancient. The researchers George Slavich and Michael Irwin published a review in 2014 showing that life stressors involving social evaluation, things like job loss, divorce, public failure, generated some of the largest inflammatory responses in the human body, larger in some cases than physical injury. The body treats the idea of being seen and judged as a survival-level event, because once it was. Now you are back in the present. The meeting is in an hour. Your hands are slightly cold. There is a pressure behind your eyes. Your gut is doing something complicated. You did not invent this feeling. It was handed to you across hundreds of thousands of years of human survival. Your body looked at what was coming and decided this was worth defending against. And maybe, knowing that, you can give it a moment. Not to dismiss the feeling, not to push through as if nothing is happening, but to recognize what your body is actually doing. It is preparing. It is allocating resources. It is treating this moment as something that matters. Because once, moments that felt exactly like this were the ones that determined whether your ancestors made it through another day. Tonight, when you lie in bed running tomorrow through your head, and your body starts its quiet preparation, you will know what that really is. It is not illness. It is inheritance.